Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Sorry I've been MIA lately, but I've been traveling a lot for work and pleasure. But I'm back and I finally got my Westcott Design lift kit onto my TRD Pro. And for those of you that have been following me on 4Runner 6G forums, you'll know that I've been going back and forth with Westcott. I actually talked to Jeff as well about what components I should be installing on the Pros, because to be honest with you, I was doing the math and I'm actually pretty good at it. And I wanted to make sure that I did not get a reverse rake or what we like to call here in Southern California, a Tijuana tilt. And I wanted to make sure that, yeah, I didn't care about the levelness, but I wanted to have at least a little bit of a front rake. So net is, I got it done at 626 Customs this morning. You'll see blue masking tape on each fender. I will show you the exact dimensions. I will show you what I put on and what I didn't put on. And I'm kind of tipping my hat to it, but you will be receiving 1-inch top hats that give you a 0.5 inch lift, 0.5 to 0.7 inches of lift if you utilize these with the preload collar lift. The collars that come with it. Now, again, I tip my hat. I did not install these. These are brand new, so I'll probably end up selling these for those that just want a 0.5 inch lift on theirs, or to get an additional increase if they've used a collar in the past. That being said, I'm also going to show you guys our alignment specs, and I will show you that it's been done. We drove it for a little bit, and then we aligned the truck so to let the suspension settle a little bit. I will post Westcott Designs ideal specs for alignment. They sent them to me, so I will post them in the comment section below, in the description below. And they specifically said make sure they're within the alignment specs in order for the truck to ride smooth and nice. Sometimes if it's out of spec, they will ride very rough because there's a lot of preload that is basically kind of bunching up the spring. So I can tell you right off the bat, this thing drives like a dream. No issues, no groaning, no moaning, no clacking. It rides smooth and it rides soft still. Does it ride like stock? Absolutely not. No lift will ever give you a stock OEM ride again. However, I have the QS3 set to the second setting on it. And here's what the preload collar looks like along with the setting. All my settings on all four corners are set at 2 in the middle. And the ride is perfection. It all but eliminated the nosedive. The nosedive is gone. I did a few hard brakes just to see what the nosedive felt like. And it's basically not there anymore. So yes, the preload that was added by the collar does eliminate a lot of that nosedive under hard braking. I highly recommend it. I suggest it. I like that feeling anyways. I feel like it has more bite. So I didn't put on the top hats. And just as I suspected, because I did the math a million times, and I was trying to tell everybody that if you put on the top hats with the preload collar on the TRD Pro, I promise you will get a reverse rake. And sure enough, you would get a reverse rake. And here's why. Here are the numbers. Before was a 30.88 inch, and these are exact numbers, guys. At least on my truck. Your truck may vary, no doubt. 30.88. With the lift, we got 32.62 inches now. That is after driving it for a while. This has been driven about 60 miles now, plus the alignment. 32.62 for a total lift of 1.74 inches on the passenger side front, okay? In the rear on the passenger side, 32 inches before, 32.8 after, for a total of 0.8 inches of a lift. That's exactly what Westcott Designs said. It's a 1-inch puck in the rear that gives you 0.75 roughly of lift in the back. Now, like I said, the math is mathing now. 32.8 inches in the rear. 32.62 inches in the front. That is a small difference of about half an inch. I have a half an inch front rake now from front to back. Is it exactly level? No. But here's my argument all the time. Quarter panels are designed to look lower than front fenders, always, on almost every car imaginable. So when you have it perfectly leveled, I don't care what anybody says, optically, it looks like a reverse rake. You put any weight on the back, it will sag and you will have a dumpy bottom, period. The math doesn't lie. So I have a 0.5 inch front rake on the passenger side, okay? If I put in the top hat, that would give me an additional 0.5 inches to 0.7 inches, according to Jeff, of lift, and additional lift in the front. That would either make it absolutely level or 0.2 inches higher than the back. Could the eye see it? Probably not, but you would definitely have an optical reverse rake. That's what I'm saying. Does it level it? Perfect. Yes, it does. But for me, at least, not the way I wanted to go. That's it. To each their own. You guys can add the top hats if you want. And I know a lot of people are. Whether they understand what is happening or not, and maybe their shops are just putting it on because that's what the whole kit comes with, and you could just trust Westcott's numbers with it, and yes, it would be exact level in terms of measurement. But optically, because fender or quarter panels sit lower, it looks like a reverse rake. So I think this stance is absolutely perfect for at least for my liking. Again, my shocks are all set to the second notch on all four corners. And let's go to this side. Again, this side, 30.88, which is identical to the passenger side. We now have 32.25. So here it's a little bit shorter of a lift at 1.4 inches. Does it matter? Not necessarily. You're not going to really feel it. You're not really going to see it. But the reality is that 1.4 on this side, 1.7 on the passenger side. Okay, so 0.3 inches, not noticeable to the human eye. But that's kind of where we're sitting right now. Okay, then you go to the rear. 31.75. If you guys remember, the passenger side was 32. So about 0.25 inches shorter on this side. Suspension varies, vehicles vary, the way the weight is distributed. Things are going to fluctuate. That's why it's super, super important that you guys measure your rigs to make sure you know exactly what you need. Everybody's rig is going to look and feel different. So just make sure you guys do that. Don't take these as Bible. So 31.75, we now have 32.62 for a lift of 0.87, while the front was about 0.3 inches shorter on this side versus the passenger side in terms of lift. On this side, I get 0.07 inches higher of a lift on this side versus on that side. It doesn't matter. Okay, so it all balances it out anyways. So all four corners, when you look at it diagonally or crisscross, the truck is absolutely level right now. Doesn't have a Tacoma tilt or any of that kind of stuff. So again, let's do the math. 32.62 versus 32.25, right? Again, roughly around a 0.5 inch, half an inch of front rake. To me, that is perfect. That is the way it sits now. And I don't think you need to put a top hat on. You can if you want. That's up to you. And it will probably give you an absolute even lift, plus maybe a true reverse rake if you put the top hat on. Personally, I think it's too much. To each their own, again. So, ride quality, smooth, soft, a little bit stiffer than stock. I absolutely love it. Highly, 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 highly recommend the Westcott Design lift, especially if you have your Fox shocks. But I know they work beautifully with all of the shocks that Toyota has, even on the off-road premiums and SR5s and whatnot. So kudos to Westcott Design for building yet again another great kit for the truck. Their whole kit for the 4Runner TRD Pro does come with the top hats. And yes, by definition, they are 100% level when you install all components. I did not want that for at least my truck. Okay, so that's what it all looks like. That's what it is. Let me show you my specs that I'll also put down in the description again. But here they are. Westcott Design said to have the camber between around 0.2 to 0.4 degrees. They're at 0.5. That's the best we could have done without the top hat, right? They use the top hat, so it actually rides perfectly right now. So exactly within the spec that we want it to be. Caster, same thing. I can't remember what they told us, but it's within the realm of what it needs to be, with 1/5 degree higher on the right side, which he did. Toe, again, they want them at 0.1 to 0.2, I believe, or 0.4. It's at 0.1 or 0.01. Perfect. So the ride runs perfectly. I love it. Here's another visual of what my alignments look like on my truck. We obviously didn't do any alignment in the rear, didn't need it. Still within the exact same specs. So no change there. But there you have it. Here are the top hats that I will not be installing and definitely putting up for sale. So if anybody wants them, comment down below. If not, I'm going to put them up on 4Runner 6G forums. And that's it, guys. Hope this helps. Hope the video helps. I love the stance. Finally gets rid of too much rake in the front. Stiffens up the ride. No nosedive. Barely any nosedive. So big improvement there. Ride quality, components, I went through all of that. Measurements, I went through all of that. Comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. Ask me questions in the comment section. But this is the way I went. This is the way I probably would recommend for anybody that has a Pro. Everything may vary with the SR5 or the off-road premiums or whatever the case is, or the trail hunters. But for the Pro, I think this is the way to go for a perfect stance with at 0.5 or half an inch of a front rake. So thank you again for following on the channel, guys. Thank you very much for the subscriptions. I love doing these videos. Hopefully they're helping. Comment down below and let me know what you guys think, and we'll talk soon. Till next time.